of all the patients I have on a daily basis, at least one person is constipated, at least one. And my basic number of patients is at least 8 and above. So 8, 10, 12, whatever, but at least 8 patients. And out of those 8, at least one is constipated. It may not be the leading cause why they're in hospital, but quite often people are in hospital because they are constipated. And you think, oh, well, that's their problem, which it is. But why is that a problem? There is a connection between your gut and your brain, and that gets messed up. It's a physical stressor. So if you can't go to the toilet, you're trying and you can't go to the toilet, that's a problem. And you keep on trying and nothing is happening. It's very painful. And it can lead to changes in people's mood. And that can go through agitation, acute confusion, and you can even get delirium from constipation. Now, for most people, it won't get that far because, they kind of deal with it at home. But regular bowel movements are really, really important. It happens. You're human, and bowel movements are part of daily life. So if it's not functioning as it should function, then there's a problem. So when you're constipated, the body starts to reabsorb the waste products. It starts to reabsorb all the water out of the poo. And it gets harder and harder and harder, and it gets worse and worse and worse and more difficult to get it out. It can increase inflammation within the rest of your body. It can sap your energy. It can lead to messing with your immune system. It can cause fatigue. It is important to get it moving. And for a lot of people, especially elderly people who are less mobile or frail already, there's a psychological factor there as well, because if it's not moving and it's not moving and it's not moving, when will it start moving again? Because it's only getting worse. Something needs to be done. By the time people get to hospital, quite often they give people a laxative and or an enema. And of course, they check for a blockage, because if there is an obstruction within the bowels, then it can't move through as well. But if there's no obstruction in the bowels, which they can see with imaging, if there's no obstruction in the bowels and there should be a normal passage through the system, if that's still possible, laxatives and an enema are the first ports of call. In the end, if it doesn't move at all, people need to go to theatre.